Dear friend and follower on X.com, on Facebook, if you've been following me for quite some time, since at least 2016, 2017, I wanted to start off by saying thank you for following me on social media and on these platforms to listen to my story. Instead of being overly pessimistic and describing to the listener the worst of what has happened to my family and me during my time in under house arrest or under probation, I wanted to say and start by saying I am amazed by both sides of humanity right now. I have seen both the best and worst of humanity, all in one short duration of time. Indeed, of the worst of people, I have seen jealous people, I've seen envious people, I've seen people that want to settle some imaginary score with me in which I have never even encountered or met them in my life before. These people have been fueled by internalized rage, fanned by the flames of racial hatred and contempt for other people. Racial pride, or being overly proud of one's race, could be a criteria for one of the red flags and warning signs for prejudice as well as contempt for other races. I cannot begin to tell you how many times there has been a microaggression against me since this all started, or being called a racial slur, or being likened to the story of the late young Mr. Emmett Till, whom was murdered in the early 1900s simply for speaking to the wrong individual, being in the wrong crowd, wrong place at the wrong time. To be more specific, the late young Emmett Till was a boy whom happened to be black, between the age range of 10 to 12 years old, whom approached an adult female, a white woman, in the early 1900s, and later was thus targeted by a group of angry, vengeful, hateful men that then murdered him and mutilated his body, mutilated his face, and left the remains for his family and the rest of the community to deal with. In my own experience, whether I was viewing television, listening to the radio, listening to Spotify, surfing the internet, it appeared as if I was being gaslighted because all of this information had involved some way or form, targeted very snarky words that would remind me that my own fate would be similar and likened to that of Mr. Emmett Till. If it wasn't a verbal, written, or spoken threat against me, then it was perhaps a physical threat against me by motioning to unholster a finger gun and perhaps one day an actual physical real gun to take care of, to get. And for those who may not fully understand the legal implications, yes, it is illegal to draw a gun against an innocent bystander. It is also illegal to verbally threaten to draw a gun against an innocent bystander, as well as it is illegal to unholster and draw an imaginary gun against an innocent bystander. All the while, this could have been avoided. However, the threats continued to escalate, when it was nearly clear as day that a contractual agreement signed by multiple parties could safeguard and protect the individual in question from any actions that were deemed obtuse. During this time, not only my physical health was attacked through unnecessary consumption of medications that would toy with my health, really. I was also attacked spiritually and mentally. It was a psychological battle. It was also very unfortunate that my mother contracted cancer during this time in 2022 and 2023, in which she had to go through chemotherapy, go through long, arduous, painful appointments at the oncologist, at the doctor, at Kaiser Permanente Hospital. And she has since nearly lost all of her teeth, as well as is now surviving as an 80 to 90 pound year old shell and skeleton of what she once was. The message was very clear. It was not just about might as right, and who's loud and proud, large and in charge. During this time, I also learned to forgive. I learned to forgive myself first for any mistakes that I've made, any infractions that I've made against either the law or anyone that I happen to graze shoulders with. I also learned to forgive my parents for any of the past mistakes that have been made in my own upbringing. And lastly, I learned to forgive those that I disagreed with most. As I've delivered the bad news first, I wanted to follow with the good news, in which during this time of terrible things happening, I was also greeted with some of the best of humanity that I have ever encountered in my life before, of which started with perhaps less than 5 individuals who were first responders to the legal and political situation that I was involved in, as well as many additional volunteers that seemed to be encouraged to help and assist, and the numbers continued to grow. Typically in the workforce, there is a tit-for-tat type of exchange or transaction. In the rest of the real world, that is perhaps the reality of how things work. With these individuals, new friends of mine, really, I found that it wasn't tit-for-tat at all. It was offering to give freely without expectation in return. And I was highly encouraged by that. I was touched by that. And if there's any way that I could ever repay them, then I would quite enjoy being on their side. Anyway, without taking up too much time of the audience and the listener, thank you for following me all these numbers of years, for supporting this profile, supporting me and my YouTube channel. I just wanted to say that I am grateful for the work that I've been introduced to myself through extended time in self-study, as well as I could not have any better connections than I do now because of what social media is able to do to expose our, you know, my own profile, personality, and all of that to the internet. So yes, I'm indeed grateful for the internet, for being there, and thank you for listening to my testimony.